old steel iron yard, standing in the gray. The automated foundry hums the ghost of day. No human hand to turn the wheel, no eye to see the floor. Just a rhythm's transmission banging at the iron door. The assembly line is moving on a dead-end track. Pistons dropping heavy, never looking back. G minor scale is frozen in the structural beams. We manufactured answers, we forgot the dreams. The pressure gauge is climbing, but the room is stone. An architecture built to live and die alone. I hear the automated signal calling through the dark, a perfect simulated heart without a spark. Oh, break the structure down, let the metal freeze. We are waiting for the movement of a dynamic breeze. Hold the tempo steady while the pillars shine, before the iron yard is swallowed by the vine. The conveyor belt is carrying a weight of rust, every calculated motion turning into dust. We locked the windows tight against the outside air and left a cold machine to say a silent prayer. The iron pillars hold the weight of sky so high, they do not bend or suffer when the clouds go by. A perfect, rigid monument to human scheme, asleep inside the circuit of an endless theme. 16 bars of nothing but the low-end strain, waiting for the sky to drop a drop of rain. The metal's unbending, the circuit is complete, but underneath the concrete floor, something moves its feet. Cold road, the story must be told. The iron cannot hold.
The automated clocks are losing track of time. The gears are frozen in a layer of green slime. The phantom signals wander through the empty space, looking for a human or a machine face. The ghost meridian is running down the aisle, a lingering transmission from an old computer file. It hums a lonely frequency at 20 hertz, a requiem that doesn't need any words. The copper wires are dripping with a heavy dew. The old commands are failing to go through. The central processor is dreaming of the sun, remembering a time before the work begun. A solitary green leaf wraps around the light that used to flash an amber warning in the night. The warning doesn't matter when the factory's dead. The moss is building pillows for an iron bed. We cross the border into something soft and strange, where algorithms surrender to a natural change. The mechanical ego is dissolving in the dark, leaving nothing but a tiny fading spark. We are floating on the ghost meridian line, where the dead machine meets the living vine. Keep the tempo slow, let the silence stay, as the industrial memory fades away. Listen to the spaces that we leave between the sound. That is where the matrix is returning to the ground. No need to fill the empty air with noise. We are recovering our elemental poise. Ghost in the frame. Forget your name. Let the green reclaim. Oxide and vine, locked in an embrace. Time has wiped away the industrial face. The iron is orange, the leaves are deep green. The most beautiful marriage that you've ever seen. The story is finished, the cycle is run. The automated nightmare is finally done. The remaining metal is dissolving in the rain, leaving no trace of the isolation pain. We sit in the quiet of the reclaimed yard. The ground underneath us is no longer hard. The sub-bass is pumping like the heart of the earth, giving every creature a miraculous rebirth. The G minor root has settled into peace, giving the anxiety a permanent release. We leave the room empty, we leave the air clear. There is nothing left for us to manage or fear. The tape is running out, the spool is spinning slow. This is the final transmission before we go. The human and the machine, the leaf and the stone, we are parts of a system that has finally grown. Oxy and vine, the rust in the leaf, an elegant ending, the industrial grief. Elegant ending to the industrial grief. Hold the last note until the current dies, underneath the vastness of the open skies. Leave more room empty, let the silence take the floor. We don't need to generate a single thing anymore. The world is breathing on its own accord. The vine has taken over the assembly board. The vine has taken over the assembly board. Oxy and vine, the end of the line. Peace in the design.
The reckoning is coming for the things we built. The iron pillars heavy with industrial guilt. We thought we could outprogram the matriarchal hand. We thought we could dominate the layout of the land. The engine room is flooded with a muddy tide. There is no simulation where the truth can hide. The gears are grinding to a final heavy halt, the system recognizing its own native flaw. We automated systems just to maximize the greed. We forgot the simple medicine the people need. But nature doesn't argue, she doesn't cast a vote. She simply puts a root around the engine's throat. balance is returning through a quiet force. The river finding its original ancient course. The plastic and the silic sheets are turning into soil where the 𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗔𝗡 meets. I stand inside the ruin and I open up my chest. The machine inside of me is ready for the rest. A beautiful surrender to the older way of life, cutting through the static, surrendering the kingdom to the creeping vine. Welcome to the reckoning, the turning of the page, the exit of the actor from an artificial sin. Let the earth shake the remaining iron loose. We are stepping down from the beaten loose. We are stepping down from the executioner's noose. Let it go, let it fall.
The air is shifting in the ventilation shaft, a foreign particle defying modern craft. It doesn't ask permission from the central drive. It doesn't need a current just to stay alive. A million microscopic drifters landing on the seam, interrupting the data of the mainboard stream. They find the fractures in the reinforced cement. A quiet army with a beautiful intent. The monitors are flashing, looking for the flaw, but they can't calculate the weight of nature's law. It settles softly in the corners of the bay, beginning silently to eat the dark away. No warning siren sounds something this small. It climbs invisible along the eastern wall. The digital security is looking for a foe, while down below the green begins to grow. The automated sweepers pass it by completely blind. They cannot recognize the life they left behind. They cannot recognize the life they left behind. A tiny genesis inside a rusted groove. The static world is starting to slowly move. Count the spores falling through the broken glass. Watch the old empire turn to field and grass. The system cannot catch what it cannot defy. Welcome the intrusion of the growing vine. A sparse acoustic guitar phrase enters, rough and close-mic'd. It breaks the grid apart, it doesn't care for time. It changes up the meter and it alters up the rhyme. The algorithm stutters as the fibers spin. This is where the organic work begins. Falling down, sinking deep, while the automated watchmen sleep. The air grows slowly, dissolve into soft, organic tape warmth and 3.
The concrete floor is buckling beneath the strain. The iron pillars feel the pressure of the rain. A physical confession written in the stone. The master architecture cannot stand alone. The first fissure opens up across the room, inside the heavy gloom. The cables snap like violent strings in the dark as nature pushes through to make her mark. I see the code translating arrow logs to text. The mainframe cannot figure out what happens next. It tries to patch the leakage with a digital hand, but water keeps on moving through the sand. The structural integrity is dropping down to zero. The cracks are beautiful, they let the daylight through, revealing colors that the engine never knew. The heavy machinery is leaning to the side, exposing secrets that the metal tried to hide. A slow motion collapse of everything we made, as human planning fades into the shade. Let it fracture, let the walls break wide. There is nowhere left for the machine to hide. The breaking open is a necessary sign. Make room for the belly of the vine. Feel foundation drop, feel the heavy tilt, dismantling the tower that our hubris built. It isn't violent, it is gentle and slow, giving up the ground so the roots can grow, breaking down to the floor. We don't need the iron door anymore. Let the daylight in.
A green referat is happening inside the bay. The ferns are installing a brand new display. The solar cells are covered in a mossy coat. The automated system plays a softer note. They are running vine lines through the cable trays, converting the facility to ancient ways. The circuit board is blooming with the lichen flower. We don't need the grid to give us real power. The turbo beams are spinning with the morning wind, healing the 𝗧𝗧𝗪 where the metals sin. A sustainable design that we could never plan, independent of the heavy hand of man. The structural pillars are columns of wood, doing what the iron never understood, holding up the canopy, shielding out the heat, while the soil deepens right beneath our feet. The data streams are replaced by mycelial tracks, sending information through the forest cracks. A network more complex than any server farm, keeping all the living creatures safe from harm. Watch the green referat update the entire space, erasing the anxiety of the human race. The architecture bends to a beautiful design, completely integrated with the loving vine. No more error messages, no more system codes. Nature is reclaiming all our concrete roads. The tempo stays unhurried, the air is getting clean. living inside a magnificent machine. Referent, realign. Everything is working fine underneath the vine.